we've got one or two listeners out there. You are listening to the Car, Sim and Race Driver Show. And we have two presenters at the moment, and we're waiting for our third one. So as soon as Jonathan turns up, we will be going live. So this is a little bit of a test just for a few minutes. And by 8 o'clock, we will be live on air. And yeah, it's so we can't wait. Right. We've got lots of interesting and exciting motor racing news.
When Jonathan gets his brew.
Yes, that's it. Well, hopefully you can hear us well. Now you can follow us on Facebook. Simply go to the Cardio Advisor page, which is at Cardio Advisor on Facebook, and you can ask us questions. If we need us to change anything in terms of if you can't hear us, if it's not coming through well, please let us know, because this is a live show and it's the first of hopefully many. If you've not heard of the Car, Sim and Race Driver Show before, we've been doing this for about 6 months under this name, and we did the Cardio Advisor Show as well before that. So it's all about racing drivers, things like Jim Clark, famous icons, motorsport in general, plus some touring cars and car comedy as well. Funny stories, motor racing stories, things that we love about motor racing, Formula One. We make fun of all the racing drivers because we are not racing drivers. We're far too fat to even sit in the car.
And our lawyer's very good.
Exactly, yeah. So we have lots of fun really at the expense of motor racing, to be fair. And we talk about all the recent motor racing events. Like, for example, tonight we will be talking about the Russian Grand Prix and also the British touring cars, which is coming up on the 12th and 13th of October, isn't it? It's going to be, it's the big final where it could be decided, well, will be decided on those dates on the Sunday, the 13th of October.
Look at this, I'm still writing notes before we go in here.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, it's a live show and we're not that professional, But we're learning all the time, and it's great to have you on board. So thanks very much for listening. And as we're going to do a quick test, and as I say, our third presenter, Jonathan, is coming hopefully anytime soon. We've sent him the email. He's going to be linked in. So very soon he'll be on air, hopefully, and we'll be able to hear everyone talk, and hopefully it will work.
Yeah, so
that's our thing. We did a commercial break. Yes, exactly. You have exactly about 12 minutes to go in the voice of Murray Walker. Right, here we are. We should have a run on the grid, actually, shouldn't we? We should be doing our grid walk by now and saying, 12th to 1st, and that's our one. But I'm sure we have a listener calling, a political mind.
Right.
Oh yes, that's John. That is John. Aha.
Hello.
Okay. Now we've let him in, so hopefully.
Hello.
Hello. That's John.
Hello.
Excellent. Because that is John. We can't hear you yet.
I can hear you, but you can't hear me.
Can you hear us? Oh no, he is in. You might need a mic. You might need a headset and a microphone, like your earplugs. Earplugs and a microphone. Your Apple one, if that's going to work.
Okay.
So here we are. Listener call in. Yeah. Now, can you hear us? There we go.
I can hear you.
Right. All right. Oh, you can hear. Oh, that's good then. That's
we can't
good.
Hear you though.
We can't hear you.
Oh dear.
I wonder if there is anything in there. Oh. Maybe he's going to try it again with potentially.
Something's happening.
As you say, for all those guests who are listening just now, we are just on air doing a bit of testing, but at 8 o'clock we will be live. So you're hearing at the moment the bloopers, or what will be the bloopers, the genuine mistakes and things that happen that never happen on any other show, we don't think anyway. But this, of course, is a brand new offer from Podbean to do live pod streams, which I'm really quite excited about, because we're hopefully going to get Super GT, Steve Alvarez Brown, and he's going to do hopefully a live show with us, which would be fantastic as well. Not that it's not fantastic doing a show with you, Andrew, but he's got over 260,000 followers now on.
That's more than
YouTube.
Me then.
It is a bit more than me as well, quite a bit more to be fair, but 260,000 more. But yes, so that will come very soon. We'll let you know all about that. Now here we are. Oh, there's more people commenting, which is good. Now, it says here that Jonathan can hear me, which is something. Into the live studio, yeah. Okay, now we just need to find out why we can't hear Jonathan. I wonder. Oh, no, what's this? I just made sure that was the microphone was definitely. Hello. Yes, Jonathan is there. We can see your comments, but we can't hear you. And unless we can hear you, I don't think you're going to be coming through live. Unless I can. I think that was. Oh, looking for the button. There we are. This is brilliant. It's a little bit like Red Dwarf. I don't know if our listeners are aware of Red Dwarf. If you're from Britain, you will remember Red Dwarf. We're looking for.
They've made new series since.
Yes, I've been quite. Yeah. So yeah. It's a bit like that. We're looking for the button. Somebody's used the hairdryer and we can't find the spare.
Don't press that button.
Exactly.
That's the eject.
Not quite hyperdrive on this one yet. As you can see, we're not really into hyper speed at the moment. We're still getting there, but we're almost there. I joined before, but I can't find the button. Well, I don't know where it will be, but it'll be somewhere in there to check your microphone. Depending what you're using, whether it's an Apple or a PC, John, it'll ask you what to use. So you just need to give it permissions to make sure that we can hear you. So here we are. We've been going for just a little over 6 minutes. There's 8 minutes to go before the start. And we've got some fantastic edits here. Listen to this.
Oh.
Here we are. Woo! Yes, that means we've got more than one listener. And we can convince ourselves that we've got more than one listener. But here we are, as Jonathan continues to try and find the on button. It's a bit more actually like the IT crowd. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
We've got a big hammer here, if that'll help.
And all that time, and they keep saying, PC's not as good as an Apple. We're now finding out. Imagine, well, I suppose, to be fair, I haven't used the app for this. So when it sends you an email to join it, I don't actually know what comes up. But I imagine it will say join the conversation, and then can it use your microphone? And that's all it needs. It doesn't need a camera, it just needs a microphone. But at the moment, we are just on air, the two of us. Right. It is Hugh Hattrick, that's me, and
Andrew Dixon.
Fantastic. There we are. Now, we have got a number of topics. It's going to be good. We're going to start with Formula One, I think, in a few minutes' time, and then we will go on to touring cars. And of course, we always talk about Jim Clark because we have the museum here in Dunnes. And I've had some very exciting information, which I'm so excited. I don't know exactly how much I can actually say live, but it is about our simulator room. I have potentially come across a room that I can use, which would make it all happen. So I'm very excited about that. Well, Jonathan says I've tried that on and off again. But, well, at least we know we can hear you, but our audience wants to hear you as well, John, so keep trying, and we'll keep you going. This feels like Murray Walker in the 1980s or 1990s, isn't it, on BBC when they've lost connection. And he says, I can tell you that Alesi is leading the French Grand Prix, and the crowds are going mad. And then when it comes back on, have we got him? No. He's still there. And when the race rejoins, or when Murray finds out that everyone can see what he's doing, Alesi has retired from the race. That was about it. But yeah. So at the end of the show, will it be a cheering, or will it be a? We'll know in terms of the listeners. Oh, it's going and going. Now, as I say, you can catch up with us by giving us a comment on Facebook. Just go to Cardio Advisor on Facebook and you can leave a comment there, and we'll have lots of fun replying if we can, as long as they're clean, and that will make sure we reply to them. We will see what we have got here, and it should be a lot of fun. There we go. I'll go back to Cardio Advisor. We're checking here just to make sure things are coming through. Who's going to be the first person to give us a comment? even a bad comment, even a terrible comment.
But no swearing.
It gives us something to think. Oh my goodness me, we're going to have to leave the country. You know. But there we are. Now, hopefully, it won't be too long before John does join us completely.
It won't be too long. He's got 5 minutes.
He's got he's got actually less than 4 minutes. It always said, you see, when Podbean asked me to do a live podcast, they said practice, practice. But it's very difficult to do it by yourself without sounding like a complete idiot. So at least now I can sound a complete idiot with you alongside me. But I'm only kidding. But yeah, this is our practice. This is in effect is our pre-race practice. As we get ready to go.
Without the champagne and vol au vents.
Yes, simply because we can't even afford Aldi's Aldi's champagne and vol au vents. I know, it shows you how dire podcasting can be. Yep, that's right, we're not being paid, you know. But yes, so there we are. So,
Jonathan, you've got 3 minutes just about.
Yeah, it's almost like he's stuck in the pit lane or he's in the pits and they're having to redo his engine and or redo it to get him out in time to enter the race. Well, we're ready and waiting, but Jonathan has failed to turn up so far. He's kind of half in there, isn't he? He's kind of putting his feet in, but not quite jumped in. Maybe you think, it's like Williams F1. Yes, pretty much. I'm not sure.
That could be slander.
Let's see, it's the...
So Jonathan's going to be maybe 5 minutes behind us.
In all fairness, it's Jonathan that made that comment. Now, I'm unaware at the moment, but for those listening, there are actually comments on our show here now. It may well be that it's possible that you can actually comment live on the Podbean app. It's worth checking your app to see if there is an ability to do that. We would love to hear from you. Because at the moment, we've got lots of comments from Jonathan, but nobody else, which is fine. Now, if there is an issue, I will come up with that. But hopefully, if you can leave a comment, it would be lovely to hear it. We're always looking to get feedback, as they say.
But no swearing, please.
No swearing. But we're not quite like a focus group, are we? We're not too worried about what people say. No. I think we won't be crying for too long, only because we've got other work to do. So that's about it. But there we are. Now, we are, the countdown, it is 1958, 7:58. So we're almost there. And we will start, and hopefully Jonathan will be able to come in with us at some point. I will say to John, if you're listening there, it might be worth just plugging in your Apple, if you've got an Apple microphone. And I was going to call it hearing aids, but that would be the name. But, you know. Earplugs, exactly. There we have it. But if you've got earplugs and a microphone, maybe just plug it into the machine and it might recognize them and allow you to use them.
Or an old hearing trumpet.
Yeah, that was an Android update number. How many? Oh, we've lost a listener, but not to worry. We've got plenty more.
Get back here now. Where are you?
Oh, here you are. Well, at least you can hear us, and it's roughly 60 seconds to go. Just 60 seconds to go, and
they've come back again.
They've come back again. That's quite good, and it will be the start of the Car Sim and Race Driver Show live. Yeah. There we go. So it's going to be 30 seconds of silence. There is music, but I couldn't quite find a song yet that was good enough. I thought I might be able to try and get one of my own in here.
Hello?
Connected. Okay, we are connected, I think.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
I think you can probably hear us, but we can't hear him. Make sure you've got nothing else running on your computer, John. So it's just the Podbean app. That sometimes is the key. But if you keep coming on, we will do our best. Well, it is exactly 8 o'clock.
Hello.
It's Wednesday night. It's the 2nd of October. You know why I can remember it's 2nd of October? Because I forgot about my nephew's birthday. And I got a reminder this morning. So that's why I know is the date. But there we are. And it's the first ever live show of the Car Sim and Race Driver Show. Oh my goodness, it's fallen to nothing. I should, of course, been quick on the effects. Well, it's great to have you all with us. My name's Hugh.
I'm Andrew.
That's Andrew. And we are the hosts of the Car Race and Sim Driver
And
Show.
there should be three of us, but Jonathan's having trouble.
He's probably typing away as much as he can, trying to get it sorted. But at least you can hear us, so you can't argue with us.
No.
Well, that's quite good then, actually. We're in a win-win situation. Oh, and here we are. Now we'll try it again. Does it work? Oh, we're connected.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, yep, there we are. So we are connected, but we're just waiting for Jonathan to turn up. On tonight's show then, Andrew, what's on the items on the itinerary?
Hello. News on the Russian Grand Prix, our views and opinions on last weekend's.
It was a pretty good race.
Yeah, it was. And then, well, we've got a wee bit to talk about Jim Clark as usual.
Yes, we can never forget that.
And you've got your news about that.
Yes, about the room. Yes.
And then we've got a wee bit to say about the touring cars as well. So, and anything else that comes to mind, I think.
Yes. Well, welcome to all our listeners and all those who will be listening on Podbean. This is our first ever live show on the Car Sim and Race Driver Show. Now, as you can imagine, with a title like that, it's all about cars, racing cars, sim driving. If you're a sim driver, if you love things like GT Sport, then we're here to talk about that as well. And we have some very exciting news because we are in the process of trying to start a simulator centre, like a race sim centre in Duns. And last week I got some very good news on a site that is very possible. So now I just need to get a bit of money, sort things out, and hopefully we can get things started. So if you love driving and racing driving, if you think you're the next Lewis Hamilton in the making that can only afford a PlayStation, just like ourselves, then soon you'll be able to come to the race. Or actually, I haven't come up with a name. Maybe you could come up with a name, actually.
There's a competition.
It's going to be, but I thought something like Duns GP Racing Series or something like that. And you can come and see the Jim Clark Motorsport Museum and then come to our race.
And then have refreshments at the Jim Clark Bistro.
Yes, exactly.
Sounds
amazing.
amazing.
Can charge you just as much for a can of Coke, but yeah. So you can come and have a go on a simulator, and in fact, we're hoping to do a Jim Clark race or something similar, and to have some very special sim drivers coming to open the site when it will come about. But it might be a little while, but we will keep you posted. But it's very, very exciting
Have
news.
you been in the bistro yet?
I haven't actually.
Neither have I yet. Every
that.
time I've passed, it's been absolutely chocker. So
Yeah, I think they're doing quite well.
Calm down enough for us to get in sometime.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. But it's great for Duns. But let's get going with the Russian Grand Prix. Now, I have to say, what was your favourite quote from the Russian Grand Prix? I've got one.
You say yours, because I didn't see all of the highlights, to be fair.
You come on this show and you don't even watch.
I try.
Well, let's just pretend Andrew didn't say that. Now, you wouldn't get that on a live show, and I'll be edited out straight away. But yes, well, my quote of the week was from Vettel saying, "Bring back the V12s," and I think he was absolutely right to say that, because these kind of ones sound like Hoovers, they're like a Dyson on a bad day. But yeah, of course, it was, I mean, he was leading. He had an amazing start, drafted Hamilton and Leclerc, got ahead of them, and then of course his engine blew as he started to complain about the strategy of the race. And then Leclerc was there, but then they went too far on the medium tyres, didn't it? Although on the soft tyres, so it didn't kind of work out quite for them. But no, it was a good race, and of course Hamilton, who always seems to be just close enough, even when his car isn't quite there, made the most of it. So it really was. It was a good race. Did you? Sorry.
Well, my driver of the day was Alex Albon. He started from the pit lane and finished fifth, just behind Verstappen.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I think he is really doing rather well, actually. Yeah, and we've got some comments. Don't think Vettel and Leclerc will be sitting next to each other at the Christmas party. Albon was excellent. Yeah, no, that is definitely true. It really was quite a thing, wasn't it? But yeah, no, it was a good race. And you know what, Albon looks just like Steve Alvarez Brown in Super GT. And many times they have a joke saying it was him.
Have they been in the same room at the same
time? They are remarkably similar. Honestly, if you see the two of them, they're remarkably similar. But yes.
But the one thing that struck me was, where was Coulthard? Alan McNish had to stand in for him. Where was Coulthard?
Oh,
they never said.
Oh, I don't know, because Martin Brundle was away from Sky.
Right. All right.
Yeah, it was Paul Di Resta who was doing the commentary. So maybe
something strange has been going on.
they do sometimes do Le Mans cars, you know, with some of the championship racing elsewhere. So maybe perhaps he was doing or DTM or something. I don't know.
That's a strange one anyway. Alan McNish had to stand in. So.
Yeah, no, that was the thing. But I know, but it was a great race, and in the end, won by Hamilton after pitting when the safety car was on, and that really helped him because he had about a 15-second gap, or he needed 15 seconds. He had, I think, he had an 18-second gap, so he was able to get in and out and get back out in front ahead of, at that time it was Bottas, and to be fair, Bottas was pretty good at defending from the Coulthard, president of the PRDC. He was probably doing a bit of snoozing.
Dario Franchitti is the vice president.
So. Well, that's pretty good then. Yeah.
Or well, no, I shouldn't really say that, but I will anyway. Years ago, James Hunt called it president of vice. So,
all right. Yeah. Well, maybe David's looking at next year's Formula W talent group. You see, and making sure they qualify. Well, it's very tough finding out. You know, do you think I should go on to the next subject before we get banned? There we are.
Yeah, and just before this Russian Grand Prix, Kubica said he's leaving Williams of his own accord. So it looks like he's roughly 5 seconds off the pace. So he knows he can't do it as he did before. It was great the first stint. Remember the Canadian Grand Prix years ago, and we had that big crash and.
And then he came back and won it the next year, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to be fair, George Russell has been pretty good, but yeah, I think also the cars are incredibly complex to drive with all the buttons on the wheel. I mean, if he's got issues with his hands as well, it's going to be much harder for him to get everything done in the right time. You know,
so he's leaving. So I wonder who's going to be at Williams next year. They haven't said. And Hulkenberg's
out of a seat at Renault. I'm surprised at that. I really thought Hulkenberg is quite good, you know.
But they're giving Ocon another chance because I think Ocon's a shoe-in for Ferrari in the next few years. So.
Yeah, he does seem to be pretty good, you know. But so it'll be a pity to see him. We actually met him about 12 years ago at a company car event, and he was a really nice chap. I've even got a signed postcard somewhere. I don't know where I put it.
That would look nice in my postcard collection.
Is it? All right. I've got PayPal, you know. But so there we are. So no, it'll be sad to see him go, but I think at the same time,
he's given it a chance.
Yeah, and it was great that Williams actually had to go. I mean, Susie Wolff retired, but there was rumours, of course, it was going to be
Jamie Chadwick.
Exactly.
But I think she'll probably have to do another year in the W Series to get her super license points.
Yeah. But, all right, that's another thing. He drove me around in an M3 at Millbrook like a loon. Aye, that's true, wasn't it? That was the case. Yeah, that was something else. That was an amazing day when you did that. But
that's controversial.
Now, Jonathan said, no more women in Formula One.
What do our listeners say to that?
Yeah. Oh dear. There'll be a rush. Now he's saying tears running down his eyes. Oh boy, there will be when Abby Eaton gets a hold of it. You know, was the one. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. So that is our Formula One section.
And next week we've got the Japanese Grand Prix. So
that's going to be
I think Ferrari will be favourite again. We'll see.
It's interesting though because Hamilton's done really well there the last few years, so I think it might be quite close.
But he says he's not the favourite in the closing races. So
which is kind of interesting.
He might just be fueling the fire, but we'll see.
Because a lot of them reckon if he keeps going like this, he'll wrap up the title by about Mexico.
Yeah.
So it's not because I think it's Japan, is it USA, and then Mexico. So
it's not too far. Abu Dhabi, is it December?
I think is it finished in December? I thought
1st of December.
Was that the last race in Abu Dhabi? Yeah. Because I've entered a competition with Red Bull to go to that, but I think there's like another 1 million people have entered it.
Better odds in the lottery.
Yeah, well, you know that's the thing. But yes, so that'll be. I can't wait actually for Japan. It's always early in the morning, but it's always a good race to watch. But yeah, well, let's go to our next topic.
Yeah, this is local news.
Okay.
But there's the Jim Clark fan club. It's having a Jim Clark film night in the Lauderdale Hotel in Lauder on the 16th of November.
Wow.
I haven't asked Lawrence, the organizer, what it all entails yet, but there's going to be a show of memorabilia and rare film
That should be
that we
really
can
good,
watch.
actually.
So we should try and get along if we can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially because Jim Clark, he was on the Grand Tour. Richard Hammond did a very, very good segment about him last year, or earlier on this year, in fact. And it really was such an iconic driver, and it's doing so much for Duns. So it's definitely worth supporting these local.
So if you do want to look it up, it's the Jim Clark Fan Club on Facebook, or Lawrence Johnson, who seems to do a lot for Jim. So
yes, he does. So that will be really good. And they've had some quite famous people come up to the Jim Clark room recently. We had Steve Ryder, remember from ITV?
Right.
Yeah, he came along.
Right.
There were pictures of him being there because he used to host Formula One when it was on ITV. With him, what was it then? Jim Rosenthal. That's right. When it was when they always used to get to the best point in the race,
Advert.
and then they say, "Oh, it's time for some commercials." And
and they had the Borders Reaver white Jaguar that you saw in front of the bistro. That's worth 12 million quid.
Imagine the excess on that.
Yeah.
But when you bring it back, the only that's left is the keys.
That guy we were talking to at the opening of the room, you remember Ian from the Tweedmouth garage?
Oh yes,
that was the first car he worked on. For the Border Reavers.
Because I think some of those cars they went. I think Daniel Frenchie drove them at Goodwood this year, didn't he? So it is quite a thing. If you fancy a trip up to the Scottish borders, we're just 15 miles from Berwick upon Tweed. And I think is it £5 for an adult to get into the Jim Clark Museum?
You can enter as many times as you want
for the last
year,
which is pretty good going. I think children are about £3 or £4. I don't think it's I think you can get a family ticket for around about 15 or 17, I think, something like that. So it's not an expensive day out, and it's great fun. Okie dokie. Let's go to touring cars.
Yeah, there was 3 exciting races last weekend at Silverstone. Lots of mixes up and a few crashes. So Colin Turkington is leading the championship, but I think there's 3 or 4 drivers who can still win it.
Wow.
So that's finishing up next week at Brands Hatch.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, so touring cars always has some good races.
Yeah.
They had some real problems in the rain at Silverstone last weekend. So
because when it rains down there, it's quite, it can be something else, isn't it? But no, it's quite a thing. But I always used to remember John Cleland, and I'm hoping to get him on the show eventually. And of course, he had that incredible year in 1992 with the Cavaliers with Steve Sofer, and it was this kind of door-to-door stuff where they all took each other off. And then I'm trying to think who won that. Oh, who was the chap who won it? He's a commentator for touring cars.
Tim
Harvey. Tim Harvey won it in the BMW in the end. And there were some classic races, and then there were some just great drivers. And I remember watching Nigel Mansell as well at Donington have his massive shunt with Tiffany Dell at the bridge, which was quite an accident. And similarly, they have a kind of netting on the driver's side window, and his head went through the net wall. The netting went through, and his helmet actually hit the wall. But he was already slightly dazed, but it didn't affect old Nigel. He was back there wondering what was going on.
Murray there poking his head.
Exactly. But yeah. Somebody sent us a gift. It's hopefully it's not a parcel bomb.
Jonathan, what are you playing at?
He sent us some money. My goodness me! Or 2.5 pod points. That's very kind. It means that somebody actually enjoys listening to us. But that's brilliant.
How are we going to spend these new riches?
Well, I don't know. What could we buy for 2.5 podcoin?
I don't know.
Maybe a ticket to Brands Hatch. With an awful lot more. Thank you very much. We love any kind of generosity. It's brilliant. But that's totally put us off the touring cars. Oh yes, we've got another one.
Right.
Chris Brown has entered the studio. So he is listening to it. So to all our listeners, you're listening to the Car Sim and Race Driver Show. It's our first ever live stream, and it's a podcast live stream on Podbean. We hope you're enjoying it. If you want to make a comment, you can just go to the Cardio Advisor Facebook page, and you can leave us a comment there, and we will do our best to mention you or answer it, as long as it's broadcastable. Put it that way. Although Ofcom, it doesn't cover podcasts, but hopefully you'll enjoy what you'll hear.
Do you want to mention your news about the?
The sim. I did mention that earlier, did I not? But we can.
You can. I think we've got a few more listeners since then. So.
Yes, that's right. If you're coming or planning on a trip up to Duns to see the magnificent Jim Clark Motorsport Museum, which is actually very, very good. There's a simulator in there. You can get in. If you're not too big, you can fit in it. You can get out. I struggled. I thought, I'll get in, but I might not get back out again. And you can drive a cutout of a Lotus 79, I think it is, or 49. And you can go around Silverstone. It's a brilliant fun. But it won't just be that, because hopefully very, very soon, we'll keep you up to date. We will have our own race simulator centre in Duns, not too far away from the museum itself, just a couple of minutes in the car. And you'll be able to race all these different types of cars, things like Jim Clark's Lotus 49. It could be Formula One, it could be even Gran Turismo and things like that. So we're getting it up and running. We've got potentially a site, and we're very, very
And now
excited.
we need a sponsor.
Yes, that's
Classic
true.
Team Lotus, perhaps.
Well, we'll take 70 million. And that should cover us. But no, actually, surprisingly, we don't need as much as what I thought. So it is certainly doable. So if you're feeling generous, if you know of any big motoring sponsors who would like to get in on the action, then send them our way. But that's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to having a proper race sim centre, and we will keep you up to date as to how that is going.
Now, I did mean to look up when the Formula E season started again, but I'm sure it's before Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, normally it goes before then. Yeah.
November or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the time tonight. But Formula E will be starting up again soon, so that'll be another series to look forward to.
Oh well, John's come back saying have some free imaginary money. Oh well, well, it's something. It's a start.
Yeah.
But
It'll go towards the reopening of Charter Hall.
Yes, exactly. We're only need another 360 million.
Right.
So any money is available, or is gladly accepted. Now, I notice here you've got on your notes, Hamilton is potentially looking to go to Ferrari.
I keep reading this on Teletext stand in the papers. They are saying that once Hamilton gets his 6th championship in the bag, he'll want a new challenge.
Yeah.
So I think Vettel's got next year on his contract, and then I think Hamilton will replace him at Ferrari.
You see, that would be really interesting.
So I think they'll just swap places.
It would be a great move. Because I think it's, it was actually what similar Ayrton Senna wanted to do, because he obviously had McLaren and Williams, but he was, every time he made a new contract, he sent a copy of it to Ferrari, to try and say, look, eventually we'll go. Because I mean, I think every good driver wants to go to Ferrari, and I think it would be a fantastic thing to have Hamilton there. Because
Hamilton has been quoted as saying that he didn't want to race after 2021 when these new regulations come in, but he's backtracked now and said, look, I find them interesting, and he does want to race on after that. So.
Now, we will, to be fair, I haven't got all the details on the new 2021 regulations yet, and it might be a bit of a bore to say you're allowed 4 millimeters more on the front spoiler, and what else? It's slightly the spoilers are slightly smaller at the back, double diffusers, or I don't know about any of that. But yes, we'll spare you the details.
Special button for engine noises.
Yeah, that'd be like that's what the Renault Clio was supposed to get, and so it sounded like a Grand Prix car when he went past. So that would be something to see Hamilton go to Ferrari. I think the red overalls would be suiting for a retirement for him, to spend his last few years.
I just wonder where Hülkenberg is going to go. He should announce it soon.
He still seemed quite confident.
He thinks he'll get a drive for next year.
Because I mean, you've got to wonder about Grosjean, but then he's been signed up. I was amazed that they signed him up again for next year. I mean, Magnussen has done particularly well. And he's quite feisty, isn't he? I mean, he's quite defensive, and
But Grosjean just seems to make silly errors nearly every race now.
Yeah, but yet his qualifying pace was very, very good. I mean, he qualified about 6, I think it was, in Russia. So it just seems to be the race pace that lets him down. But no, that's going to be good. Well, I was going to say, if our listeners have any ideas as to where they would like to see their drivers go, then give us a shout. You can comment. Go to the Car Deal Advisor Facebook page, which is simply at Car Deal Advisor, and you can comment. I've put a heading up there and a post about the show. Just comment underneath, and you can let us know what exactly you think of it.
So Jonathan's not been able to join us yet.
No, I don't know what happened there. But as far as I know, at least you can hear us. He just can't speak to us. So it's just like a naughty child. He can't talk back. Am I smack? It's still legal in Scotland, or is it? No, Grosjean keeps his place at Haas. What do you think? Yeah,
He should be away. He's had a few years now.
Yeah, and
he even turned down Jackie Stewart's offer to give him hints.
Really?
How to? Yeah, Jackie Stewart offered to say, look, you're making these small errors all the time. Just let me talk. And he said no. He said no to Jackie Stewart.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's a triple world champion,
Yeah.
and who's who can take his analysis and make things happen. And he's also he is quite inconsistent. But of course, because Jonathan, for all our listeners here, Jonathan Sutherland, who of course you cannot hear or even see because it's a podcast, he was in the group with Kevin Magnuson at Silverstone many years ago when they were doing the racing license. They weren't in. There were two groups of drivers, and he was in the other group. But they had this great picture on the podium, which is on my Facebook page. I'll have to put that on. And Kevin Magnuson is in there. There's also a chap who looked remarkably like Sebastian Vettel. Yeah. But the F1 presser against him, Gunderson is quite stubborn though. Does his own thing. Yes, that is true. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm quite. Although I do like Gunther Steiner when he says stop whining to his drivers and just get on with it. It's brilliant.
The Ferrari motorhome would have been interesting last weekend.
Yes, with all
with Vettel and Leclerc.
Yes, they won't be sitting next to each other.
No,
I think though Leclerc, I mean, he's very, very good. There's no doubt. But I wonder if he's just a little bit ahead of his station in demanding team orders and all that kind of stuff. Because he has only just come to the team this year, and yes, he has beaten Vettel, but Vettel's still very, very good. And on his day, he can beat him. It's just now the consistency and see how it all goes. But yeah. So
and another thing I was wondering about this evening, you might know, what's Alonso doing next year? He hasn't retired completely, has he?
No, there were rumours he was trying to come back.
I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, no, it's not been mentioned. Good call, actually. I don't know.
Perhaps if anyone knows, please let us know.
Yeah, and it could be breaking news. We can sell that.
Surely it's not in the local KFC already serving, is it?
Yeah, I'm going to say in Marbella.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's allowed that for us. In any of his kind of daily intake, but I know it's quite a thing. It's quite a thing indeed. But I'm just trying to think of all the other things that were happening in Russia. I mean, and one of the people I didn't see who normally turns up was Putin.
Right.
He didn't come at the end because when the race was over, I didn't see him.
No.
Yeah, because they normally I've got a great picture of him and Bernie Ecclestone sitting in the grandstand. Alonso is working in a tapas bar in Fungarola. Well, I would go there and get his autograph if I were you. That for any of our listeners who happen to be listening from Spain, then there's a bit of advice.
That's an exclusive to this show.
Yes, I'm not quite so sure if that comes under fake news or not, but it might be, or it could be an epic breaking news story. But yes, because like I was saying last year, there was this great picture of Putin and Ecclestone together laughing away, and he thought, what on earth have they just planned?
Maybe Putin was at the Conservative Party conference, you never know.
Yeah. Or maybe it was at the rugby, because the rugby, aren't they? Russia are playing in the finale, so that's in the
or it might have been being served by Alonso and Frank some
tapas. Yeah, Putin getting tapas in Fungarola. That would be interesting to see, certainly. But I know that the Russian Grand Prix is interesting for the people that turn up for it, and all the kind of things that happen there. And as you say, it goes into Japan. It's going to be very, very exciting, and Ferrari continue their fight back. They were third this time, but and also Mercedes continued their 1-2 lineup for Russia. They've won it how many times? Which is pretty good going for that.
Now Leclerc was the first Ferrari driver to have 4 consecutive pole positions since Schumacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's quite a thing.
There's a fact for you.
Yeah. Do you remember? I mean, when obviously you've been following Formula One for a long time, but in 2000 when Ferrari won their first title with Schumacher, and I think it was not in Japan. It was in Japan. That's when it was decided in 2000, and it was an epic race between him and Hakkinen, and then we managed to get him on the pit stops and then overtake, and it was a great race. But that was at a time when, I mean, as a Ferrari fan, in days gone by, you wanted Ferrari just to finally get there, and then when Schumacher did it, it was amazing. Now it doesn't quite feel the same. I don't know why it is, but I think maybe it's just the noise and all the kind of the stuff. But I mean, you know that when Schumacher did it, it took a champion to really actually win it. I mean, that was his third title.
But Leclerc is good, but I think he's only going to get better. So
yes, I mean, he is very, very fast, and he's fairly modest too. He doesn't seem to be.
And we could do with some Charles Leclerc baseball caps, I think.
Do you think?
Yeah. Please.
You must have an eBay account.
Well,
you know. It was like
Ferrari can send us a couple, surely.
Now, Jonathan has just come up with a very good idea.
Right.
It says here, an F1 quiz. Where are they now? Thierry Boutsen. Remember Thierry Boutsen? Yeah, I remember. He drove for Renault and Ligier.
Was it a footwork car?
Footwork, yeah. I remember because he ran in the 90s, and he says, where are they now? Well, according to Jonathan, Thierry Boutsen is sleeping under the bridge in Antwerp.
Right.
Well, maybe you can find him and bring him along, and we can do a show.
Yep.
But I'm trying to think of all the great. But the poor old, remember De Cesaris, Andre De Cesaris. He was killed in a scooter accident a few years ago. But they said terrible things about him. I remember it was James Hunt who said, "There's De Cesaris crashing," and it says De Cesaris, who always crashes anyway, has done it once more. But they used to call him De Crashers, isn't it? That was his name, you know. And then remember there was Pedro Diniz. Yeah, and they had a big. I remember it was on Autosport, and Murray Walker had interviewed him. It was either one Autosport or one of the ones at our F1 magazine, and it said, "What's for dinner, Diniz?" This, you know.
I don't think he'll be having to worry about getting another job. I think his dad was a billionaire.
Probably oil tycoon or something, or some kind of thing, wasn't it? Yeah. But no, that was interesting. And then of course there was Jos Verstappen. He had some huge shots. I mean, he was that one in Brazil when he went end over end and narrowly missed Martin Brundle. I think he hit the back of his car. That was an incredible sight. And also when they had that pit stop.
Jos is still driving.
Is he?
Yeah. Is he not in the Le Mans series, I think?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. He's still driving, yeah.
Oh, he's still driving Uber. Or is he driving?
And Jan Magnussen, he's still driving as well.
Is he? Goodness me. Because I remember Jackie Stewart when they it was on ITV. They had the big opening event, and they had all the drivers sitting up on a stage. And then Jackie was asked, "What did he really think of Jan Magnussen?" And he said, "I think as long as he quits smoking and drinking, he'll be fine." He's in because they used to think he wasn't fit enough to do the races, and this was a big thing that he was doing too many other activities. And that weren't really good for Formula One. And so Jackie was quite blunt and said, "Oh, as long as he stops drinking and smoking, he'll be fine." So you'd only get that in those days. And that was when it was now. There was who was the other Australian presenter? Oh, he's quite an old chap, but he was a big Formula One fan. I think he's still alive. Remember, he used to do a BBC comedy show. What was the one? Oh, he's quite old now. He's in his 80s. Clive James. Clive James. Right. He did this show for Formula One in Australia because obviously Australia was the starting Grand Prix, and he managed to get all the F1 drivers to turn up, and they kind of made fun of them and had a bit of a laugh. But it was really, really good. And then they had the ITV presenters there, and I'm sure they had probably Murray Walker and others. And maybe people who are listening to this might be able to be from that generation.
I can't remember that.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
You know, I think it was on ITV. I think it was something like that. But Luca Badour. He competed in the most F1 races in history without scoring a point. Now I know someone's here is clearly on Google looking for F1 trivia.
Saying as he can't switch on his microphone.
I'm going to send the guy from the IT crowd, from Moss from the IT crowd, round to your house, John, and he'll be able to fix it, I'm sure. That we'll see.
It's because you've no internet coverage in those rural parts.
That's the thing. It's probably got better than ours, actually. To be next time we'll have you around in the office and we'll get it sorted out. But I know that's the thing. Yes, where are they now? That would be a really good one. Let's think of another driver that left a while ago. Oh, Mika Hakkinen. He still does a lot of work for McLaren.
He was in Edinburgh this year, wasn't he?
Was it for a book festival or something?
No, it was not sponsored by a drinks company, I think.
Oh, maybe
a whiskey firm, I think.
Right. Yeah. And of course, Dario Franchitti came. He was in Formula One. He came to open, and
he was nearly in Formula One.
Yeah,
with Jaguar, but he said the car was
so bad, wasn't it?
Beep, so he didn't drive it.
That's quite a thing, isn't it? And then there was Alan McNish. Now, you might know more about Alan than I do, to be fair, because I know that he was a test driver way back in 1990. and he test drove the McLaren for Ayrton Senna, and the two of them would test around Suzuka. And I remember watching it on the video about Senna. He was on it, giving his idea about what it was like to test drive these cars. But I mean, he had an accident now. Was it at Brands Hatch? It was somewhere, and somebody was killed.
Yeah,
wasn't
killed a spectator. Yeah,
and that kind of had an impact on his career.
I know he drove for Toyota, was it?
That's right. Now that was in the late 90s.
And then switched to Le Mans, and he won.
He's done very well.
Yeah, won a few times.
We hope to get him on the show.
And now he's a boss for Formula E now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That well, there we are. It's just turned 8:30. Right. Unbelievably, we've managed to cover half an hour.
But Jonathan,
and people are still listening. Yes, we'll have to figure out exactly what has happened there. But we're still going strong. Now, our next topic. I can see you rubbing your head quickly, Andrew.
Because I've nothing written down now. I think that's...
Oh, we've got a comment. Hang on. No. There's a comment here. We'll better check to see. There we are. Well, it is broadcastable. But there we are. Oh, Giovanni Amati entered qualifying for Benetton in 1991. And Jonathan says the attractive brunette failed to qualify. As a coincidence, she was also having an affair with Flavio Briatore.
Now that we have to get the lawyer onto that one, I'm afraid.
That's pretty good, actually. I have to admit that that is quite a thing. By the Flavio, he was a good team boss, wasn't he? He was kind of out there. Because then there was Tom Walkinshaw as well, wasn't there? And he had the Tom Walkinshaw way. They did quite well for a while, and that was the one that Damon Hill went to.
Arrows,
Arrows after his World Championship winning year, and of course he had that epic battle with Michael Schumacher at Hungary in 1997, and he almost won, wasn't it? Just his car broke down on the last lap.
A 50p part broke on it,
Really? Yeah. No, that's one of those things. But yeah, I mean, it has changed so much when you think you had the Minardis, you had all the kind of smaller teams, and now they're all big money teams. But I think after 2021, there's going to be a redistribution a little bit of the money.
So hopefully, I was going to mention I was away on holiday and I got some more old race programs. I got an actual Brooklands race program, which are really rare. 1936. Reg Parnell's in it. And all the Bentley drivers.
That's pretty good. Yeah. And if you want to know Andrew's address, I'll send it to you on a postcard.
Not a postcard, because I would collect those.
One from his house already.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that would have been actually pretty good, because that's where the Mercedes headquarters, their big Mercedes showroom and
but we really have to go to the Brooklands Museum, because it's, I mean, they have built on some of the track, but the Brooklands Museum still opens up.
Well, I'm going down there at some point because I won that sim event, so I was able to actually did. This is why sim driving is actually quite good. So if you get your GT Sport and you practice, then you actually find that you might win something. And I got the fastest time at a company car event, and I won a Mercedes day out. So I'm looking forward to doing that in the next wee while. Now, Jonathan has continued on with the Giovanna Amati story. She was sacked and signed for Brabham, spun 6 times during practice, and qualified 9 seconds slower than her teammate Eric van der Poel. She was sacked and replaced by Damon Hill. Oh, well. Well, obviously, it's not going to be tough for Jamie Chadwick to beat that, then, is it? But I think actually she would be quite good. I think she would be actually pretty quick.
As I say, I think she'll have to have next year, getting her super license points. So.
And then it'll sort it out, isn't it? Oh, well. Fantastic. That's brilliant. Well, I think we have pretty much covered everything for our first ever live show.
Hopefully next time Jonathan can join us.
Yes, we'll have him live here in the studio, in our office. And on that note, it's been fantastic. Thank you to all our listeners. You've been listening to the Car Sim and Race Driver Show with me, Hugh Hattrick, and my co-host,
Andrew Dixon.
And our other co-host, Jonathan Sutherland. See you soon and take care.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.